Hi everybody, this is Boog-Ass Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing a Throwback Thursday review on the McFarlane Monsters Twisted Fairy Tales Miss Muffet figure. So before we take a look at the spider, let's go ahead and take a look at Miss Muffet, because she actually does come with a couple accessories. So first up, she comes with her tuffet, and this pegs into her right calf right here. Not a whole lot of detailing on this. It's done in silver, and the cushion is done in brown. It is meant to look like she knocked it over when she fell backwards. I mean, it does kind of look like that, but it looks kind of funny if you don't have it in there because she has a giant hole there on her calf. And finally, she comes with her spilled curds and whey. And this is actually really detailed. It has some intricate sculpt detail on the outside of the bowl right here that's painted in gold. This has some texturing to it and some paint variation. And so does the spoon. It has a little bit of a black wash to it over top of the silver. It's really detailed. The only bad part about it, just like with the stool, is if you don't have it connected to her, she has this giant hole in her shoulder. But it's meant to look like she knocked that over as well when she fell backwards. And I think that actually looks pretty good. So now let's go ahead and take a look at her head sculpt and the rest of her before we take a look at the spider. So taking a look at this head sculpt, McFarlane Toys did a really good job at sculpting and painting it. This is a very messed up figure, and definitely nothing like anyone remembers Miss Muffet being. She's got this type of bondage gear on, and the paintwork on that is actually pretty convincing. The glossy black and pink that they painted that in, I think that really sells the effect that that's supposed to be this really skin-tight leather. I think that actually looks pretty good. You get dots of silver painted on there for the rivets, as well as a buckle up here, and laces going down the back. The paintwork on this figure really surprised me. I mean, I didn't doubt it since this is a classic McFarlane figure, but for being 20 years old, I think this still holds up surprisingly well. She's got this very tight hot pink corset on, bunches of straps and buckles going on there, as well as it almost looks like it's supposed to be little darker pink flames here. And you can actually see where the straps are cutting into her skin. The way they sculpted it, that actually looked kind of convincing. Underneath all of this leather, she has this type of stocking, I guess you'd call it, on. And the paint variation on this looks really good. I think this whole figure is actually cast in skin tone because you can see where some of the darker color here didn't get painted on. But for the most part, I think it is painted pretty nicely. You get some nice shading over top of it, and it almost looks like it's textured because of whatever they used to paint this on. It's almost kind of like some sort of airbrush effect. I don't know, it just looks really good. You get wrinkles over top of that. And back here on her shoulder blades, you can actually see a little bit of her skin tone showing through underneath the wrinkles right there. So that looks really good. Like I said, that's detailed really nicely. She has these leather straps going up her right arm that have spikes on them. And this is where the spider pegs in. You peg the spider into the right elbow and then the left hand right here. On the left arm, she has this leather glove, I guess you'd consider it, that has these pink spikes on it. And as you can see, she is articulated. It's very slight. Honestly, they could have just made her a solid piece because she doesn't really have any articulation that matters, I guess. She also has some really good sculpt detail to her knee-high leather boots right here. You can see that they have that hot pink as well, and the laces going all the way up. And just the way it's painted makes it look like leather, as well as the wrinkles. That's sculpted really well. This is a very messed up figure, but it does look pretty good. So for her articulation, as I said, I don't really think she needed any. So she has a head that can spin all the way around. She has swivel at the biceps. It really doesn't move in any way that matters. And then she has swivel here above the knee. That's really all you can do with her. You know, she's kind of meant to look like she just knocked the stool over. So that's really the only way you're going to get her posed. So now, let's go ahead and take a look at the spider. So taking a look at the spider, this thing is scary. McFarlane Toys did an amazing job at sculpting this. It has a bunch of detailed fur with some nice variation over top of it. Looks like it has some sort of black pattern over it, as well as some brown and tan tones painted over it. And that looks really good. You get some little, it looks like warts sculpted on there. And that face, that is very well detailed. They use glossy black for all of its eyes. Man, that looks really good. It's textured and it looks like it has like a glossy kind of reddish color to it. as well as a wash of, looks like tan. Man, that just looks really good. All of its legs, except for this front right one, are on ball joints, so you can move them up and down and side to side very slightly. I do wish they had a little more articulation to them, or maybe they would have put a second point of articulation right here at one of the leg segments, or maybe just made it bendy wire. I think that would have been really good. But I am surprised that it was articulated. I was pleasantly surprised to see that all of these legs were ball jointed on the end. And then there's the underneath. You can see that they even painted some shading on the underneath of the legs right here. You get that gray and even a little bit of brown there. So yeah, this thing is detailed very nicely. That looks really good. So here the spider is connected to Miss Muffet as it's attacking her. And I feel like this could have looked a little bit better. I can't actually pose her the correct way, at least her left hand. Her left hand is supposed to be pushing on her, but I have to have it supporting the spider like that to actually get it to stay pegged in. I don't know why they made it peg in like this. I feel like it would have been better if they would have put like a clear stand right here at her midsection that attached to the spider. That way it could come like, or look like it was coming down at her. The way it is right now, I mean, I get what's going on, but it just looks a little bit funny, and it's coming unpegged constantly. If I glue it down, it'll probably stay. But I don't know if I want to do that. I feel like I could use this spider for some other photography other than this. So I do think it looks cool. I just feel like it could have been executed just a little bit better. Maybe it's because she's holding it up in the air too. If it was a little bit closer to her body, I think that would have looked better. So overall, I think this is a really cool set. You know, it's very messed up, and it's not for everyone, I do acknowledge that. But I think it's pretty cool. I love these older twisted McFarlane figures, and I think McFarlane did a really good job on this for the most part. I think both of these figures have some phenomenal sculpt and paint details to them. McFarlane Toys always went above and beyond with the sculpt and paint detail on these old figures. My only real big complaint with this is I feel like the positioning of the spider could have been better, especially because if you don't balance it just the right way, it is going to fall off all the time. But other than that, I think this is pretty cool. And if you're into these older McFarlane figures, then I definitely recommend picking this up. I think this is actually still decently priced on the aftermarket, so if this is something that you're interested in, I think it should be pretty easy to get. So, that's my review. If you like this review, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.